And last week, we started focusing a little bit on metal fist. And we don't see metal fist inside the full form of the set, but we see the metal fist in our opening movements of the set. So in our opening movements, as we brush and settle, we were talking last week about how to sit in the legs and be able to kind of work these two inside uppercuts. 1, 2, 1, 2. And we don't want to necessarily, at the opening of the set, we're trying to stay in our right leg, even though we're turning the waist. We're not going to let that right leg kind of bow in or shift. We're going to spiral in. We're going to settle the left hand in. So we're kind of closing up the chest, opening up the back, and then we want to pull those two apart as we step into place. Now, if we start to take this as our walk from metal, I'm going to show two different variations of it today. So we're going to go palm, and then we have a version where we kind of shuffle in for an uppercut. Then we're going to scoop through condense. We're coming off the back leg. We're mud tiling through. And then we rend. We're pulling, pushing, and both hands are going to open as we strike with the palm. Then we shuffle to uppercut. Come through, palm, and uppercut. A couple more. 1 and 2. Come through. 1 and 2. Come through. 1 and 2. Couple more of those. So we were talking about that rending idea last week, the pulling and the pushing. We were talking about keeping that elbow fairly low, so we're not stretching out and opening up. We're keeping that elbow down. And we also talked about how metal, as an opening of the set and as a routine in its own, is one of the better sort of, if you want to call it, civilian self-defense kind of positions, where we just kind of settle our weight back and put our hands up. This gives us a chance to kind of profile ourselves, put a visual and physical barrier between ourselves and the other person, but that's not a threatening physical barrier. If we've just got our hands out, that's kind of a de-escalating feeling, calm down, but we're in a place where we can range, where we can use that lead arm, or we can use the back arm or the back arm coming through. So a couple more steps. We've got palm, uppercut, spiral, weights transferring, palm, uppercut, weight transfers as we come through, close, palm, and uppercut. Now, I've been taught two different ways to work the metal fist in terms of its timing and footwork. And the other one, that uppercut moment is less of an individual posture. So if I've gone for some toy here, I'm gonna kind of push through. Let's get one going here. Well, and what I'm gonna do is, instead of shuffling and uppercutting, I'm gonna shuffle and uppercut and step. So I've kind of take one sort of beat out of it, not entirely. Let me see if I can demonstrate this timing for you. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So it doesn't quite have that third beat of the other version. So as we step through palm, instead of shuffle and pause, we step in and follow through. We step in and follow through. A few more of those. That's something you might, if you've done the other version for a while, it's not a bad way to kind of give yourself something a little new to play with. So we're coming through palm. So as we make our first step, we're kind of hitting, but instead of staying there and then setting up again, we follow right through. So 1 and 2. So we're setting up that open foot a little earlier. So the footwork becomes more like the fire footwork, where we're not getting that third beat. So we've got through, we're hitting and stepping all at once, uppercut and step all at once, tuck and tuck. I kind of like this timing sometimes because it helps with that idea of going bam, bam, bam. So you're in and then through, in and through. Okay, let's do that just a couple more times to get that. And what we want to focus on a little bit with this metal idea in terms of overall range of motion for the body is there's a lot of this condensing of two arms by gathering in with the core, hollowing the chest, and bringing everything in close. And so you've got this kind of, as we talked about last week, if you look at old photos from bare knuckle matches and things like that, early boxing, one of the early boxing postures was actually here with the palms facing in and the knuckles facing up. It's because without the gloves, there was a lot less wild swinging at people's heads. We can get away with that. You can ricochet off of somebody's head with a glove on and protect your hands, but it doesn't work very well if you've got no gloves on and you ricochet off of somebody's cranium. You can break your own hand pretty quick. So there's a lot of work with the bare knuckle stuff to try to catch the jaw with these uppercuts. And we see this a lot in the Hsing as well. We're going from a palm kind of hit to an uppercut. So it might mean that we're kind of keeping somebody at range, at distance, and then we're snapping up inside. So it's like stay, 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 boom. And then we can think about hitting again and driving through. A few more seconds, then we'll get into our form. So we're going to go from our Hsing toy. Actually, let's do the whole opening. So we're going to go brush, because this is what we get in the set as well. Open up, press down, coil, spiral through, gather through, step out. So now we're going to go uppercut and step through, uppercut and step through. Nice, couple more. So we're going to go one, hit through, two. So that little uppercut is quite quick. And as soon as we've hit with it, we're coming through with the palm. We've hit with it, we're coming through with the palm. Okay, we'll leave it there and let's spend the last little bit of class. Nice repetitions on our form.